Wicklow Mountains are part of a granite mass which extends over a large part of Leinster. During the Ice Age, glaciers carved out U-shaped valleys to form lakes in their hollows, like Lough Dan and Glendalough. Since then, man has changed Ireland's landscape extensively, and particularly in the last few decades. Ireland has 6 national parks: Killarney, Glenveigh, Ballycroy, the Burren, Connemara, and the largest one here in Wicklow, which extends to 20,000 hectares. A visit to any of these is an education into our geological, historical, and natural history. Most of the lands in the national parks in Ireland are commonage, so farmers can still retain grazing rights while the public can enjoy walking along designated routes, as long as they leave no trace or damage. This offers an opportunity for farmers locally to get involved in tourism. I'm meeting with Wicklow's Rural Recreation Officer to tell me more.
Would there be many local farmers and people whose private land you've had to cut through to make the walks?
The walks going across in Wicklow are going across 92 different farmers.
Wow.
And we haven't had one problem whatsoever. There's 2 main things about the walk scheme. Number 1 is these walks have to be maintained, so to give the first option of maintenance to the local farmers. The second thing is insurance.
So how do they have to keep the land maintained then, the farmers?
It is a walk, so it's to keep it in what you call trail standard. Yeah, it's a path, it's not a footpath, but to keep it in the trail standard. Litter, they keep an eye on litter, they pick up litter and that kind of thing. We've 3 hills here: Mangans, Garryhoe, Ballybeg, and then Kyle. The first one is Mangans Loop, and that's a 5 kilometre. But if you're feeling a little bit more energetic, you can head out across what we call the Ballycummer Loop. Everybody's been talking about infrastructure in Ireland, the built environment for the last few years, and yet here they have kept what is probably our most valuable infrastructure, the hills.
With their diverse habitats, national parks provide a secure home to many of Ireland's protected species. So it's crucial that visitors like us are environmentally conscious. I'm at the Education Centre in Glendalough to see what role education plays in making children aware of our responsibility for the conservation of some of the last wild places of Ireland.
All animals, anything that is living within the national park is protected. But there are red listed data species here, which means that they're animals that we need to keep an eye out. We can't just take them for granted. We need to continue to be vigilant and look after these things, hence the need for national parks and nature reserves.
So what are you guys doing today then?
Yeah, so today we have Family Fun Day looking at bats. We have bats living in our information office attic, at least 300. So a little pipistrelle bat apparently will eat up to 3,500 midges each a night. So they're beneficial because the midges...
Where do they put it all?
Well, they have a high metabolism. So when they're flying, their heartbeat can be 1,000 beats a minute. So, they'll burn up a lot of these calories quite quickly.
That's
as well.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So the kids will get to see this tonight?
You almost guaranteed. Provided it doesn't rain, you're almost guaranteed to seeing bats emerge from a roost every night.
Ian brought me into a buzzing nature classroom where the children have just learnt about bats and are anticipating the night bat watch. What type of bat do you think that is?
I think it's a long-eared bat because it has really big ears. It's nice because it's a sea bat.
While waiting for the bats to emerge after sunset, I went for a short walk around Glendalough's early Christian monastic settlement.
Summer is a very good time to watch bats. A lot of the female bats have paternity roosts in buildings like the one we have here, and they will emerge sometime after sunset. They should emerge very, very soon.
Yeah, they can come from any place along this edge.
The atmosphere is brilliant tonight. There's loads of families out and everyone's really, really, really excited. So how does the detector work?
This is a heterodyne bat detector. So this is the one, the bats echolocate at an extremely high frequency, above our range of hearing. You can tell that's a pipistrelle bat because of the clicks and slaps that you can hear.
We'd actually hear nothing if you had no detector.
No, you wouldn't. No, if I switch this off.
Nothing.
There could be bats flying around our heads and it's just extremely high frequency ultrasound. We wouldn't hear it.
Very cool.
Yeah. There are bat workers out there who would probably be able to identify certain other species, but they have the skill and the field experience to do that.
So, do you think they're all done now, yeah?
I think they've all gone. It's been a good 30 to 40 minutes. I think they've all cleared out and they're hunting. I'd say they've gone.
Well, it was really cool.
Yeah, we got the best of it.
It's October and I kept the promise to myself when I was last here to come back for the Educational Centre's guided viewing of the deer during their breeding season or rut. However, to get there I have a long walk through Miners Valley and then a steep climb up to the Glendalough Valley. On my way up to the deer rut I met two boys who were not looking for deer.
See a dinosaur, huh?
Where?
Hey, no, the dinosaurs are that way. Yeah.
This is definitely longer than a mile.
Isn't she great?
Yeah. The light of our property, it's pretty dark outside.
Finally, I reached the Glendalough Valley. It was a long climb, but I hope it's worth it.
It's about the size of a really big dog, really small deer. Hi, how are you? Do you want to have a look through the telescope?
I'd love to see something.
I'll just watch it.
I've only been seeing dots moving around, so tell me where to look first of all.
And you should be able to see a stag with his harem of females.
Wow, this is amazing. So how many are there altogether in the park?
Roughly there's probably about 2,000 in the national park, the Wicklow Mountains National Park. And then in Wicklow altogether there's probably up to maybe 40,000 or so. The red deer would have been here since the Ice Age. The Sika deer, which what we're looking at here is a hybrid of the red deer and the Sika deer. But you get true red deer down in Killarney. Obviously, there's a certain amount of protection for the wildlife, but there's no, specific sort of fence line, so people can cross in and out walking and things like that. So, I mean, it's the same for the deer; they can cross in and out of the park as well.
My visit to Wicklow National Park has brought home to me how we all have a role to play in ensuring the protection of the wildlife and habitats for the next generation.
In our next episode of EcoEye, we'll see how an urban community can come together to create a green space for the next generation almost out of nowhere. We'll also see what the future is for some of the world's biggest peatlands and why these are important. And Tania will explore the wilderness of the Northwest.